Welcome back to The Explainer. Guys, we have an absolutely massive tactical breakdown for you today. We're diving headfirst into the tactical blueprints of today's unbelievable doubleheader. We are going to be breaking down the strategic profiles, the exact win conditions, and the projected lineups to give you the ultimate edge before kickoff. Whether you're tracking the heavyweights or you're just here hoping for a historic upset, this breakdown is going to fundamentally change how you watch these matches. Let's get right into it.
So, here is our game plan for today. We'll start by looking at the Brazil versus Norway matchup and their specific keys to victory. Then, we'll switch gears over to Mexico taking on England and lock in exactly what those two need to do to secure the win.
All right, kicking things off with our first matchup, Brazil versus Norway, the heavyweights taking on the giant. Let's look at what actually happens when the deepest squad in the tournament faces off against a seriously dangerous European titan.
What's so fascinating here is the sheer contrast in style. It's like night and day. Brazil relies on this unmatched, explosive attacking flair. I mean, their one-on-one dribbling ability out on the wings is literally a nightmare for defenders, and they have this insanely deep pool of world-class talent, so they can just rotate players without missing a beat. But Norway? Their strength lies in a rock-solid, world-class spine. They are anchored by an incredibly physical, hard-working core. They've got the ultimate target man in Erling Haaland, and he's supported by an elite playmaker in Ødegaard. That gives them a foundation that can genuinely challenge absolutely anyone.
But hey, nobody's invincible, right? Looking at where these teams are vulnerable, Brazil can sometimes leave these massive transition spaces, we're talking wide-open grass for counterattacks, right behind their attacking fullbacks. Plus, there are occasional questions about their defensive structure when they face super-organized European teams. On the flip side, Norway's biggest weakness is, well, a pretty significant lack of squad depth, especially compared to Brazil. If their starting 11 gets fatigued, or if superstars like Haaland and Ødegaard get marked out of the game, Norway's going to struggle immensely to generate any secondary scoring.
And you can really see that tactical depth disparity when we look at the projected rosters. Both starting 11s are absolutely packed with talent. Brazil is rolling out stars like Rafinha, Rodrigo, and Vinícius Jr., while Norway counters with Ødegaard, Bob, and Haaland. But the real story here? It's the bench. Brazil has this massive pool of world-class reserves just waiting on the sideline. Guys like Éder Militão, Gabriel Martinelli, and Endrick. Compare that to Norway's heavily top-heavy roster. Basically, if this game turns into a grinding battle of attrition late in the second half, Brazil has an undeniable structural advantage.
Now, if there's one number you need to keep in your head while watching this game, it's 99. Keep your eyes glued to the wings, because Brazil's Vinícius Jr. consistently sits in the 99th percentile globally for progressive carries. That means his ability to just drive the ball forward at his feet into incredibly dangerous areas is completely unmatched. Between his explosive acceleration and those elite one-on-one take-ons, cutting inside to create highly dangerous shooting angles, well, if Norway's fullbacks get isolated against him, it is going to be a very, very long afternoon for them.
But let's be real. The ultimate threat for Brazil is lurking right in their own penalty box. This right here is the marquee battle of the match. Erling Haaland's sheer size and generational finishing going toe-to-toe with Brazil's center backs. Haaland consistently maintains a goal-per-game ratio and massively overperforms his expected goals, meaning he's bearing highly difficult, low-probability shots on a regular basis. His terrifying physical power and those lethal off-the-ball runs behind the defensive line, that could pose massive, massive problems for Brazil on crosses and set pieces.
So, how does this actually play out on the pitch? Let's look at the blueprints for the win and the step-by-step maneuvers both teams have to execute to advance. If Brazil wants to send a dominant statement to the rest of the tournament and keep hunting for that 6th World Cup title, they need to execute this 3-step blueprint perfectly. First, maintain high possession. You have to defensively starve Haaland of service. Second, continuously isolate those wingers, Vinícius and Rafinha, in one-on-one situations out wide. Let them cook. And third, they have got to apply immediate counterpressing to stop Martin Ødegaard from launching those rapid transitions.
Conversely, Norway has a chance to create the defining moment of their entire generation today. Defeating the most successful nation in World Cup history requires absolute perfection. Step 1, a flawless, compact low block. They need to pack all their players deep near their own penalty area and just absorb the pressure. Step 2, ruthlessly punish Brazil by maximizing every single set-piece opportunity they get. And Step 3, rely heavily on Ødegaard's vision for quick transitions, finding Haaland the absolute second Brazil turns the ball over.
All right, shifting gears to tonight's second blockbuster, Mexico versus England. We are calling this one the curse versus the crown. It's a fascinating psychological battle between a home continent curse and the clinical power of England.
Looking at what these squads bring to the table, Mexico has this electric, chaotic, high press fueled by a massive home continent advantage.
I mean, let's face it, they are effectively playing a home game here, backed by dynamic, rapid wing play that can just completely overwhelm opponents. That goes right up against England's incredible squad depth. England is bringing tactical versatility, a super strong defensive spine, and world-class finishers across their entire forward line.
But what about their vulnerabilities? Well, the crucial point is how these teams handle their own demons. Mexico has to overcome the psychological weight of the fifth game curse, that notorious history of constantly getting knocked out in the round of 16 at the World Cup. Plus, they can sometimes lack the ruthless, clinical finishing you really need against elite European defenses. Meanwhile, England has to avoid their frustrating habit of playing way too conservatively under pressure, where they just sit back, invite the opponent onto them, instead of actually dictating the flow of the game.
You can really see this dynamic playing out when you look at the expected lineups. Mexico is rolling out a super high-energy starting 11 featuring standouts like Edson Alvarez and Santiago Giménez. But man, just look at that English bench. Mexico's starters are going up against a squad that can pull elite, game-changing talent off the sideline at literally any moment. Players like Trent Alexander-Arnold, Cole Palmer, Ollie Watkins, and Ivan Toney are all just waiting in reserve. Any single mistake in Mexico's defensive third is going to be punished immediately by that kind of depth.
Down in the midfield, prepare for an absolute war. Honestly, this game might just be won or lost right here in the clash between England's Jude Bellingham and Mexico's Edson Alvarez. Bellingham is your complete box-to-box profile, right? He physically dominates ball carries, sits in the highest percentiles for goal-creating actions, and successful attacking duels, and just has a real knack for scoring those clutch, late-game goals. Trying to stop him is Alvarez, the ultimate defensive anchor. Alvarez excels at breaking up play, winning aerial duels, and dropping between the center backs. He ranks among the absolute highest in interceptions and clearances. It's an unstoppable force meeting an immovable object.
Up top, we've also got this incredible contrast in how the strikers actually operate. On one hand, you have Harry Kane. He loves to drop deep into the midfield, acting almost as a playmaker, using his incredible passing range to thread passes for England. He ranks at the very top for progressive passes received and assists for a center forward. On the other hand, Mexico's Santiago Giménez operates as an instinctive, one-touch poacher. He excels in physical hold-up play and pure penalty box poaching, leading the Mexican attack in expected goals and touches inside the opposition's box.
Okay, let's get down to business, surviving the pressure. Exactly what do these two squads need to execute tactically to secure their spot in the quarterfinals?
For Mexico to finally shatter that round of 16 curse, especially on North American soil, and become absolute national legends, here is their blueprint. 1. Feed off that electric crowd energy, but without losing tactical discipline. 2. Relentlessly press England's center backs to force turnovers in super dangerous areas. And 3. Completely disrupt England's methodical buildup by turning the match into a chaotic, fast-paced track beat. Chaos is their friend here.
And for England, if they want to silence that incredibly hostile environment and prove they are true championship contenders, they've got to stick to this three-step plan. First, drain the energy out of the stadium early by completely dominating possession. Second, remain extremely composed playing out from the back. Do not let Mexico's press rattle you. And third, utilize Harry Kane's hold-up play to ignite those lethal wingers and bring them into the attack.
So as you get ready for kickoff today, I'll leave you with this. Will methodical depth and undeniable clinical talent prevail? Or are we about to watch history be completely upended by chaos and a hostile press? The tactical blueprints are all set, but you know what they say, tactics don't always survive first contact. Enjoy the matches, guys, and we'll see you next time on The Explainer.